plan is to go strike up a conversation with them. I'm not sure if we're hitting the suicide or the sex abuse yet.
We should probably, if he's an elder, maybe talk about the 2-witness rule.
Okay, 2-witness rule. And then when it goes, how it always goes, when they tune us out, we have our big sign that's bigger than their cart that we're going to set up right next to them. We don't hate Jehovah's Witnesses. We just want you guys to be aware of the things that are going on. It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you as well.
Thank you. Yeah, so how do you feel after your first car crash?
Well, I'm shaking, vibrating, because it's like a combination of, as you get sucked into their mindset again, you're like reliving it, and it makes your skin crawl.
Yeah.
Because I was one of them at one point.
Yeah.
And would have defended disgusting things like fellowship. Yeah. And it's sad, and it makes you like angry and sad, and just an overwhelming number of emotions, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, you get really overwhelmed the second, for me, the second that I hear them whitewash or lie about something, I get really emotional, and I have a hard time holding myself back, as I'm sure a lot of people can tell watching my videos. This situation here we got. Hi, how are you? I'm a former Jehovah's Witness, and I'm an activist now. Wow. Yeah. So the Jehovah's Witnesses have a written policy, and their elders' handbook have a secret elders' handbook. So just the elders are allowed access, not them. They're not allowed to have it. And in it has what's called a 2-witness rule. If there's allegation of child sex abuse, the child has to produce a second witness, and then if they can't produce the second witness, they sweep it under the rug, or they might say, oh, well, we disfellowship them. That's not going to the police. That person's still in the community, and he can go back to the Kingdom Hall anytime and go door to door, knocking on people's homes. And this is why they're being sued. And I have less mercy for these men, because they're elders, so they know. They're the ones asking the children questions like, where's your second witness?
Some time ago, some old school YouTubers took a scripture out of the Bible and gave it a modern apostate interpretation for our day. It's the scripture in Ezekiel where the graves of the Israelites, well, they were raised. Their bones that were dried up grew sinew and flesh, and they were reanimated into a vast army. Thus, the vast apostate army was born. Originally, this was just a symbol. It was purposed to give a united front to the enemy of the Jehovah's Witnesses. It was a way of reclaiming the word apostate, because none of us truly feel we are apostates. Ex-Jehovah's Witnesses were just people who no longer agree or go along with the indoctrination of the Jehovah's Witness cult. So we took this new brand, this new moniker, the vast apostate army. And I remember seeing videos dating back quite a while ago where YouTubers would use an image and put the catchphrase on there, and several others would do the same. There would be so many different variants of the actual logo over the years, but it was always the same, a vast apostate army. And what this did is it really gave you the impression that we were working as a team, and that there was a movement happening, a pushback against the lies, the corruption, and the abuse of the Jehovah's Witnesses. I came on the scene around the time JW Primetime was doing memorial toasts. JW Fairy Tale was doing epic videos and criticizing the cult. And the Unwitness also And I looked up to these guys so much. They were just a couple of wise guys who were taking shots at this cult. That was how I was first introduced into the world of the vast apostate army. And there was definitely a rebellious attitude, a rebellious tone to the whole thing. These guys were edgy, they were fun, they were hilarious, but not only that, I noticed that they ruthlessly came to the defense of their friends, and I greatly admired that. As time went on, after the memorial crashes, then came Kingdom Hall crashes, and JW Cart crashes, and then something really cool happened. Joel the Unwitnessed had the brilliant idea to make a live stream podcast type show. It was called The Vast Apostate Hour. Now, a lot of people seem to have gotten confused and thought that the Vast Apostate Hour was the VAA, but I never thought so. When we started that show, it was a means of uniting people, sure, and bringing on new ex-Jehovah's Witnesses who had made YouTube videos together in a format where we could discuss the cult and plans for doing demonstrations and whatnot. But it was never intended to suggest that me and my friends and this show, we were the vast apostate army. I always saw it as the vast apostate army was anyone who chose to speak out against the cult. But it just so happened that we were pretty much the only ones that were still using this moniker, this brand, I guess. It was a really fun time, though, because you know, there were a lot of XJW channels out there who were doing some incredible work for the community and against the Watchtower Society. But me and my friends kind of noticed that a lot of these guys just took themselves a little too seriously. And we wanted to contrast that. Just kicking back, having drinks, making jokes, sharing a laugh. And to me, it was just a much more authentic experience. There wasn't an overwhelming need to cover over and hide all of our imperfections. In fact, the Vast Apostate Hour, in a way, was a celebration of our imperfections. The whole spectrum of human personality and emotion was on full display. And it was a beautiful time. There was this old idea called Operation Juicy Steak. And basically, the meat and due season, it's a play off of that whole scripture. So Operation Juicy Steak was an idea for apostates, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, to gather at Warwick on November 5th of 2017. And Joel remembered this, and he brought it up on the Vast Apostate Hour. He would ask these ex-JW YouTubers when they came on the Vast Apostate Hour, when they came on the show, are you going to be at Warwick November 5th, 2017? And we really tried to build hype for this date because that prophecy, the Operation Juicy Steak, the meat and due season, that went back on YouTube lore for years. It was like an 8-year-old statement that XJWs were going to gather at the world headquarters on November 5th, 2017. And it played into also the Remember, the 5th of November. One day me and Joel just decided, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to actually make this happen. And we did. We threw a protest in Warwick, the world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses, on November 5th. And you know, we kind of just played it by ear. We had no experience in doing anything like this. And honestly, we had no idea what to expect. It was pretty hectic on my end, for sure, trying to get the media involved and trying to figure out how travel was going to work and where we would meet. And then there was a whole debacle with people working against us and reporting us to the police and lying about what the event was going to be and how many people were going to be there. And I remember having conference calls and all kinds of issues with the state park. It was it was a very hectic thing, and I had no idea how much work was actually going to go into it. But people started showing more and more interest, and the craziest things happened. The rest, I guess, is sort of history, as they say. It turned out to be a phenomenal event that got the media involved. W5, the CTV special, No Witnesses. Avery Haynes and her news crew covered the whole event, and then afterwards, of course, the governing body directly addressed the two-witness rule as a result of that day. And it's honestly, it is the proudest thing that I've ever done in my life. But something kind of happened then that I hadn't counted on and I wasn't expecting. The vast apostate army that started out as this wise guys brand to strike fear in the heart of Jehovah's Witnesses, well, it became something else. It evolved a little bit, and some truly amazing people came on board and wanted to use the VAA not just to scare or intimidate the Jehovah's Witnesses, but now it was something that people could look to for help. Trisha Frangia was a big part of that. She made a website. Her and several other XJWs put it out there that if you needed help, if you needed to talk, you could come to them and they would help you. They would help you in this transition if you wanted to leave the cult. So after that, the VAA really evolved, and several of us sort of took a step back from the whole thing. And really, Trisha has been the key person to really champion the vast apostate army since then. And there's been beautiful t-shirts and signs and banners. And she's really done a good job of really making the vast apostate army something that everyone can be proud of. And then, of course, our presence was there for the London protest. And I couldn't have been more proud to be standing side by side with folks like Stacy Lopez wearing the VAA t-shirts. I decided to make this video because I wanted to make it absolutely clear that no matter what you think about me or anyone else who claims to be a part of the vast apostate army, that symbol will always represent resistance, warning, and hope. Thanks for watching, guys. Fateful Slave. I'm out.